I did not expect that. Hey guys, it's the Pink King here. Jurassic Park. It's one of, if not my most favourite franchise of all time. I would spend hours every day rewatching the first movie on DVD. I would have the toys, I would have the sequels. I loved Jurassic Park. But recently, over the years, I felt very disheartened with the franchise that ignited my love for dinosaurs so long ago, with the abysmal Dominion and ultimately safe Jurassic World trilogy. This franchise has been stagnant for a long time. However, the franchise took a step into animation. Netflix teamed up with Universal and DreamWorks to bring us the Camp Cretaceous series. Now, this was a big deal at the time. Jurassic Park has never had a TV show before, despite it coming close several times. And considering that this show was being made by the same studio who brought us other good spin-off shows like Race to the Edge, you could see why I was excited for this. So, when it released, how was it? Disappointing. Yeah, this series was not anything special. It felt far too safe and generic, not taking advantage of the world nearly enough to justify its own existence. As the series continued on, it just got more ridiculous and yet so dull. There were some cool moments like the Scorpius Rex and seeing how it played into the movies, but overall, I was just never that big a fan of Camp Cretaceous. So when it was announced it would be getting a sequel series, you can imagine how I wasn't really interested, you could say. Hell, initially I wasn't even going to watch it, but eventually I decided to watch it, and it was good. No, maybe even great. I'm not joking, this series caught me so off guard with how genuinely great it was. I was expecting Chaos Theory to be yet another run-of-the-mill safe cartoon, but it ended up surprising me and proving me wrong. But how? What about Chaos Theory works, where so much of what came before didn't? Well, it was one simple thing really, and that was the tone. This series genuinely surprised me with how much darker the tone got. For me, getting it the closest to the original movie out of everything that's been released ever since. Yes, I'm serious. This show got really dark at times, and I've always believed that Jurassic is at its best when it's darker, and this proved it for me. Unlike the previous project, where they keep it safe, this series was not afraid to get serious at all. People would die from dinosaurs. They trick you into thinking, oh no, they're just gonna run away and everything's gonna be fine. No, people actually get killed and they eaten. It may not be on the screen, but it happens, and it's even more I think it even has a bigger impact, the fact that you don't see it and it's implied, because that leaves it to your imagination. I like that. And for here, it was such a refreshing surprise. It helps build the tension, showing that these characters really are in danger, because compared to what they were before, where it just seemed like they had plot armor every time and only the villains would die. But no, this time everyone is fair game. And showing that these dinosaurs are really a threat, unlike some stuff like Dominion, where dinosaurs are so unthreatening they had to get locusts. I'm still not over it, I'm still mad. But not only was the tone darker, this show tackled some really heavy themes, and I mean adult themes. Like, a kid is not going to understand a lot of this stuff. Stuff like depression, falling out with people, relationships, loneliness, anxiety. This show really tackled a lot of issues, and it did it in a way that felt really well. And it's these flaws that got me to really care about the characters, where before I didn't really care for them that much. Here I'm fully invested in their lives. I want them to do well. One thing I also really liked here was the way they switched things up a bit. There's something I've always felt the franchise has been lacking for in a while, and that's original fresh ideas. But here they give a new idea and it works so well. It's no longer escape the island, don't get eaten, but now there's a mystery going on surrounding one of the characters' deaths, and it's handled very well. It's not too obvious, although I will say it, the mystery at the end, you can see it from a mile away what the plot twist is going to be. Like, it's pretty standard plot twists, but the mystery itself is very nice and it's handled very well. even if you might be able to predict the ending. But they have fun with it, and use it to develop each character, showing how they all interacted with this one person before they died, and it was really great to see. It's stuff like that that makes the dinosaur scenes even better, as it adds so much more tension because we're so invested in these characters. And speaking of dinosaurs, this show treats them so well. It truly feels like they learned from the mistakes of Dominion and actually made an effort to improve, because we actually see dinosaurs on the mainland properly. We see them interact with stuff like gas stations, farms, being used in pop-up shows, and not just hunting people all the time. Really making this world feel lived in, and like they are actual animals, because they are animals and not just movie monsters. Something cool they do is include a dinosaur into the main mystery. A Allosaurus is on the poster of pretty much everything, and it's such a great watch. The Allo feels really intimidating. It has a strong sense of aura around it, and you want to know so much more about it and what it plays into the story. And even as they're slowly revealing it, it gets even more interesting. And even the way the Allo story ends, it feels refreshing and yet simple. It ties into the character's arc very well, I'd say. Now, before I get ahead of myself, this is not a perfect series. I will say some things still need improvement, like the jokes and the music. But for me, the biggest problem with this series is the same as my problem with Camp Cretaceous, is the animation. I'm sorry, but this is just not good animation. Not in the sense of the movement, the actual animation itself is really nice, but it's the style. I don't like this style. These characters do not look like they belong with these dinosaurs. It feels like two different shows are clashing together. It just doesn't look right to me, and it's strange because they've shown they can do this before. Like, look at the How to Train Your Dragon series. Both the humans and the dragons looked in the same style. They looked like they belonged together. But here, it's not the case. You got some stylized humans, and also some very ultra-realistic and textured dinosaurs. And to me, it just doesn't feel right watching these things interact together. There's a lot I could talk about here, but overall, I really enjoyed this series. The characters felt fresh, the story was something interesting and a fun play on the Jurassic world, and the heavy themes really helped to ground this rather ridiculous idea. I really recommend it. It feels like a surprising return to glory for this franchise, and I hope it gets more seasons because there's a lot of potential here, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it deserves a lot of appreciation because it's sort of reinventing the Jurassic franchise in a way that makes sense. So, if you love Jurassic Park and the original movie's tone and want to see it in a TV format with some new ideas, then this is the show for you. And for me, it is a well-deserved 7 out of 10. A great start to a new series, but still needs some work. But it could be really fantastic. It has all the potential in the world. But what did you guys think of this series? Did you like it, or did you not like it? Let me know in the comments. This one's very interesting because there's been a lot of mixed opinions about it, but for me, I'm surprisingly in the positive side. And with that, I will see you all next time.